No one at Desert Base Echo expected the dust storm to reveal a secret that would shake the entire command structure. They had mocked her, pushed her, doubted her, and treated her like she didn't belong, because to them, she was just the new girl. But what none of them knew, not even their senior officers, was that she carried a rank that could outrank every man on that field. And the moment she fell to the ground, surrounded by soldiers who thought they were stronger, the truth began to rise with her, and nothing at the base would ever be the same again. The new recruit nobody wanted. The sun was brutal that morning, its harsh glow reflecting off the desert sand like a spotlight on every weakness. The new girl walked through the main gates wearing standard fatigues, her head held high, though her boots were already coated in dust. She looked no older than 30, and to the soldiers gathered there, she appeared fragile, inexperienced, and out of place. Whispers spread faster than the wind. Who is she? Why is she here? Another rookie. They had judged her before she had even spoken a word. Sergeant Hale was the first to confront her. A tall, broad man known for his intimidating training methods, he blocked her path and smirked. You lost, new girl. This isn't a place for tourists. She replied calmly. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Her voice carried a strange confidence, enough to make him narrow his eyes. But the others laughed. They thought she was being tough, pretending to fit in. They had no idea that her composure came from years of facing battles they couldn't imagine. Throughout the day, she was pushed into drills that were designed to break newcomers. Heavy packs, long runs, obstacle courses, dry fire training, everything crafted to force weakness to the surface. But she didn't break, not once, even when a soldier accidentally bumped her too hard on a march, even when others whispered insults under their breath, even when Hale challenged her to climb the tower twice as many times as the others. She pushed through every task with quiet strength. The soldiers grew frustrated. They wanted her to fail. They wanted proof she didn't belong. Instead, with every step she took, their doubts grew heavier. Just before sunset came the moment that changed everything. During a surprise field drill, a simulated explosion went off near the training zone. Dust and sand exploded into the air. The new girl fell forward, catching herself on her hands as the ground trembled beneath her. The soldiers stopped, some laughing, some shaking their heads. Told you she can't handle pressure, Hale muttered. But as the dust settled, something unexpected happened. The wind shifted, blowing her loose overshirt aside, revealing a flash of something no one had been prepared to see. A set of embroidered rank insignias, gold and crisp, hidden until now. A glint of medals that only high-ranking officers carried. Hale froze. The others blinked, confused. She stood up slowly, brushing dirt from her palms, her expression unshaken. And then the realization spread like a shockwave. She wasn't a recruit. She wasn't even just an officer. She was something they were never supposed to underestimate. Something far above every one of them. But the truth, for now, stayed on the edge of their minds like a storm waiting to break. She didn't correct them. She didn't explain. She simply said, "Training's not over yet." The soldiers, uneasy for the first time, followed her voice without knowing why. But the truth would come soon. And when it did, it would turn their entire world upside down. The rank that changed everything morning arrived with a strange tension in the air. Rumors had spread across the base overnight like wildfire. Soldiers whispered in the mess hall, officers exchanged confused glances in the command room, and no one could shake the memory of that moment. Those insignias hidden under her uniform. Even Sergeant Hale walked around with silent uncertainty. The new girl had become a mystery they were desperate to solve. During the next drill, she was placed at the front of the formation, not by assignment, but because no one dared stand in front of her. Her movements were sharper today, her presence stronger. She carried an authority she no longer tried to hide. When Hale barked orders, her eyes met his with calm defiance. Almost as if she knew she could override him at any moment. The soldiers sensed something shifting. They began to follow her lead more than their sergeants. The turning point came during a large-scale simulation on the far side of the base. Hale was responsible for leading the unit, but a sudden communication failure left the team confused and exposed. The terrain was tricky, radio signals were weak, and half the squad didn't know where they were supposed to move next. Panic started forming like cracks in dry earth. Hale hesitated, a hesitation that could cost lives in a real scenario. Before anyone could react, the new girl stepped forward. "Listen up," she said, her voice loud, clear, and commanding enough to silence the entire squad. She issued rapid instructions, her strategy precise and flawless. She repositioned teams, redirected cover units, coordinated movement patterns, all from memory, all with unwavering authority. The soldiers obeyed instinctively, as if they had finally found the leader they'd been searching for. By the time the simulation ended, her leadership had saved the entire operation from collapse. But the biggest shock was still waiting. A few hours later, the base commander arrived in a military transport vehicle. A stern man who rarely left headquarters. He walked straight toward the girl, while every soldier stood stiffly at attention. Hale swallowed, sensing something huge was about to unfold. The commander stopped in front of her and saluted. Not a casual greeting, not a friendly gesture. A full, formal salute. One that only the highest-ranking officers received. The commander's voice cut through the wind. "Welcome officially to Base Echo, Admiral." Every soldier felt the ground shift beneath their boots. Hale's face drained of color. The new girl, the one they had mocked, pushed, doubted, was the highest-ranking officer on the entire base. The Admiral, their Admiral. She turned to the stunned soldiers, her expression softening. "I didn't come to replace anyone," she said. "I came to lead with you. But leadership isn't given, it's earned, and I needed to see who you all really were." Hale stepped forward, shame written across his face. "Ma'am, I had no idea." She raised a hand gently. "Then start fresh. Today." In that moment something powerful changed. The soldiers no longer saw her as the new girl. They saw her as the leader they needed. The one who could command their respect, not with rank alone, but with strength, heart, and undeniable courage. As the sun dipped behind the mountains, casting long shadows across the desert, one truth became clear to everyone at Base Echo: sometimes the strongest leaders arrive quietly. Sometimes the most powerful people are the ones no one sees coming. And sometimes the new girl is the Admiral,